안녕하세요. 림페이 씨. 싱가포르 남자입니다. with 또또. 네. I just came back with Toto from a jogging session. I haven't jogged for a very long time, and this is like a very beautiful autumn day. So yeah, so we decided to come out and have a jog. You know, I think I haven't jogged in like 6 months or something. Oh, look at all the sweat. 네, 오늘 주제는요, 한국 친구 사귀는 방법. 네, 한번 소개하도록 하겠습니다. So yeah, today my topic is about how to make Korean friends in Korea. Now, take note that what I'm gonna say applies only to Koreans in Korea, because Koreans living outside of Korea or in your home country do not behave like that, and they tend to be more westernized, and so these things that I'm gonna discuss don't really apply to them, right? Oh, look at the tree, so beautiful. Okay, now I just received some message on my Kakao from one of my friends. She's a foreigner friend and who had just recently met new Korean friends, and she was very upset about the whole experience, because among some of the things she mentioned was this: why do they keep distancing me by using respect form? You know, is it because he wants to distance me? You know, or that, you know, what does that mean? And so what happened? What if a Korean friend doesn't add you on Kakao? You know, what does that mean, right? So to a foreigner, these behaviors like tend to be very disappointing and somewhat, you know, give you wrong signals, because if you actually watch my video on the 10 differences between Koreans and Singaporeans, you will see that one of several of the differences is in the way we like make friends and, you know, treat each other in the social setting. So a lot of foreigners actually are very upset and disappointed when they meet their new Korean friends without knowing this. So that gives me the inspiration to start this series to talk about how to make Korean friends in Korea. You know, now so today I'm just gonna give you guys an overview of the framework of making Korean friends. Yes, you know that I'm not saying like 100%. There are some Koreans who, knowing that you're a foreigner, would tend to behave and make friends with you in a more foreigner way. But those Koreans who are not familiar with foreigners, and in fact, don't be surprised, a lot of Korean youngsters have never had foreigner friends before, so they tend to behave within what I call the Korean framework. Okay, so today I'm just gonna introduce you the Korean framework of making friends, which in my experience so far, there is a typical framework. Okay, for if you meet the typical friends. Now, of course, there are outliers. I'm not talking about outliers. Outliers meaning Koreans who have either lived abroad, or Koreans who have many foreigners friends, so they know how to behave and treat you in a foreigner way. Okay, I'm talking about real Koreans who lives in Korea, who probably never had a Korean foreigner friend, and they tend to go through this framework. Okay, so how this framework works is like this. Now I'm gonna give you my real life scenario from my real life experience, and you can see the steps from there. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous video about how the one best way to make Korean friends in Korea is to go through a language exchange, right? So I go to a language exchange and I met these two Korean guys. Okay, now one of them is obviously younger than me. He looks younger than me, and one of them looks older than me, but is in fact younger than me. So, but when we first met, none of us know this, and we greet each other using polite form and high manners. 안녕하세요, shake hands, polite form, high manners. Okay, and then we talk in a very formal way to each other throughout the whole language exchange, and we talked about what we do here in Korea, and, you know, basically do a friend talk, but all in respectful distance. Okay, this is very important. You don't want to break this distance right off. Now this is the number one difference between making Korean friends and like Western friends or Singaporean friends, because to us, when you distance yourself like that, it's actually, to us, you know, to a Western thinking, it's actually rude, right? Or is he trying to distance me? That's really rude. But to a Korean, breaking that distance is rude, because you are not sure if he's comfortable to make you as a friend yet. Okay, so in Korea, when you get to this stage, like introducing yourself, shaking hand, in Western countries or in Singapore, when you introduce yourself, shake hands, you're basically friends, but not in Korea. In Korea, you introduce yourself and you shake hands, you're merely an acquaintance. Okay, a face that they know. You're not a friend yet. Okay, please remind yourself that at that stage, you're not really a friend yet. That's why you need to observe that distance. You're not comfortable with them yet. They are not comfortable with you yet. Okay, you need that distance. So after the whole language exchange is done, we go into phase 2. We start to ask each other, oh, you guys free tonight? If you're doing nothing, let's go for dinner together. And so we did. So we went to Samgyeopsal together. That's when you start to make Korean friends. You sit down at Samgyeopsal, and commonly the first question is, how old are you? How are you? They need to start to establish the polite form, the levels of polite. Who's supposed to panmao, who's supposed to... Now, in stage 1, like I said just now, see, one of the questions my friends asked me was that, well, I'm obviously older than the person. So for me, using polite form with him seems to be very weird. But I'm telling you, no. When you're in stage 1, even if the guy's 50 years your senior, he's gonna use polite form with you or formal form with you because you're not a friend yet. So in Korea, no matter what your age is, even if you're way older than that guy, when you're in the first stage, okay, just shaking hands and introducing yourself, you always use polite form. Okay, you never try to cross that bridge, that gap yet. Right? This is very important. Now, so when you get to this stage where you actually can sit down for a meal, that's when people will start to consider making you as a friend, right? That is when it actually starts. So then it starts to establish the hierarchies, the respect hierarchies. That's when typically the seniors will start to panmao the juniors, and the juniors will start to pour drinks for the seniors and continue to use chondenmal, right? So that kind of respect, that kind of structure start to happen. So you move from an all respect structure to a Korean age-based structure, but it's still a structure. It's still a polite and formal structure at that point. Okay, don't get it wrong. Okay, so as a senior person, okay, and even like you're eating and jesting, it's still not 100% like you're in that friend zone yet. Okay, don't take it that you're there already. Typically. Now, what happens is that as the night went on, we have a few drinks, and it came to a point where we're pretty high and we like each other and we are jesting each other. That's when the more senior guy, which then was me, will pop the question, will pop like, 우리 편하게 하자. 우리 말 편하게 하자. Let's speak conveniently. That's me as a senior person giving permission to everybody to speak in Panmao. That's when friendship really starts. When 말 편하게 하자 is proposed, that's when everybody can speak in Panmao, and that's when real friendship starts. Okay. Now, to get to this stage, sometimes like in my example, it all happens within a day and within that meal. But for some people, it may take several meals or even several days or even several months. Okay, depending on the situation and whether or not the circumstances allow you to do that. Okay, then at that point in time, we start to become real friends. At that point in time, we started to exchange cacao. Yeah, some people are comfortable with exchanging cacao or adding cacao friends right from the start, but not all Koreans are comfortable doing that because there's a lot of freaks, a lot of weird guys out there, okay, these days, okay. So Koreans are very weary of adding people to their cacao because it allows them to see the cacao story, which in essence is their whole life. They don't want to just give it away like that. So you have to understand that, right? Okay, if my that friend is watching, this is the answer to what you asked me. Why hadn't that person added you on their cacao? Because you're not there yet. They don't want you to see that yet. You're not in that friend zone yet, right? It takes time. Okay, so after that, you know what? That's not the end. That's giving permission to be friends. That's when you start to be friends. Then we went to Icha, which is the round 2. We went to a pochang matcha. You can watch my video on what pochang matcha is, and we started drinking even more. That's when we start to hug each other, I crack stupid jokes and everything, and decide that, hey, next time we should still hang out together. Next time, this Saturday I got this, that, why don't you come with us? That's when you start to become a real friend with Koreans. And you know what? The good thing is that kind of friendship is very strong. It lasts forever, for life. Okay, it's Koreans make very good friends, but you have to get into that zone first, okay? And like I said, I just mentioned like three steps, right? So the first stage is the social introduction stage, okay? The second stage is the first meal stage. I'll call it the first meal stage. And then the third stage is the real friend stage. Now at each stage there are things to observe, and because this video is getting very long, so I'm gonna split this video up into a few times. So the next episode I would talk to you about tell you guys about the do's and don'ts and the rules at the social stage, what you need to observe during the social stage, and then in a further video what to do in the first meal stage, and then what to do in the 포장마차 stage. Okay, right. So see you guys in the next video. 안녕. 안녕해.